let's talk about some examples. I want to talk about opt-in forms because this is the moment where a lot of things happen in compliance management, regulatory management. We're talking about opt-ins on your website. Remember the 4 elements. You got to have the by submitting statement. You have to have a link to your privacy policy. You have to have the messaging rates may apply, messaging frequency may vary, and you also want to talk about what kind of communications are how you're going to communicate with them, right? So all those elements need to be here. So look at these are real. I grabbed these this morning off of legit companies. These are big brands, you know. This is the franchise development opt-in. Hopefully the brand's not on here. Okay, good. What do you think? In the comments, give me a note if you think, is this one compliant for opt-in or is this one not compliant? What do you guys think? Well, I don't see a clear opt-in statement. No by submitting, no opt-in at all, right? So this is not a compliant opt-in form, which means they don't have the right to text anybody coming through this form. Think about your own form. I tried to make sure I didn't grab anyone who registered for this event. And I'll, again, tried not to. If you see any brands show up, then please forgive. This is a well-known brand in the franchise industry. This is their franchisee or franchise inquiry interest for frandev form. I saw this morning. I was like, no way. So I thought I'd use it as an example. What do you guys think? They got a recaptcha to prevent spam leads coming through. Is it compliant? No. There's no opt-in. There's no by submitting. There's no link to privacy policy. There's nothing. This is a non-compliant form, so they have 0 rights to text their people. Come January, well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Some of the other regulations might say you can't call them now, right? How about this one? I used a brand cheat code, right? You know this is going to be a good one. But look at the actual opt-in statement. It is conspicuous. It is placed between the form and the submit button so that any consumer has to see it before they can submit that. They've chosen to put a checkbox, right? You can make that required, so they have to check it before they submit the form. A lot of people, this is debated. If you have a legal counsel that's very stiff about they're very rigid, they might say put a checkbox, but it's not required technically. The submit, but if it's an explicit opt-in like this, that's good enough without the checkbox. But you can have a checkbox too if you want. Just make it required so they don't submit the form without submitting the opt-in. That's the thing you got to be careful of. If they don't submit the opt-in because they didn't check that box, you don't have permission to text them, even though you displayed the opt-in. Does that make sense? So be careful with that. But this is a compliant opt-in statement. So this is the nature of what you need to have. This isn't very verbose. It's not too long. But I can also say Authority Brands, I know they spent a lot of time making sure they were using best practices when they put this together, which is why I thought I'd give them a kind of the gold star example to show you guys what was a viable opt-in statement. So again, opt-in compliance is kind of the apex. It's the pivotal moment where you guys start to manage your true compliance. As an organization, you de-risk the organization when you do this.